Today is definitely bittersweet because while I'm excited to talk about today's topic, I'm also kind of sad because, as you guys probably know, today was supposed to be the original release date for No Time to Die, the newest film in the Bond franchise, the fifth Daniel Craig Bond film. But because of the current pandemic we're in, everything going on, it was pushed back to November. So I figured instead of just moping around, being sad because we don't get to see No Time to Die today like we originally thought we would, I thought I'd make it a little fun, spice it up. I mean, there's no kind of schedule that I have to base off everything anymore because everything has been either postponed or rescheduled. So today, I'm going to be talking about the Austin Powers trilogy. I'm going to be ranking them from my least favorite to my favorite, because if you guys don't know, the Austin Powers trilogy is pretty much like a James Bond spoof, kind of like a Saturday Night Live version of James Bond. That's how I look at it. It's like, what would Saturday Night Live's take be on the Bond franchise? When I think of that, I think of Austin Powers, Mike Myers, Dr. Evil, all the iconic characters in these three hilarious films. They're not the best out there, but there's a lot of hidden moments and funny things about them that I really love. I've taken away, and it's just some feel-good films that are very silly, but they're fun. And so today we're going to be talking about them. So with all that being said, let's hop into it. Before I begin my ranking, make sure to go down to the comments down below and let me know what your favorite Austin Powers film is. I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of agree on which ones are the worst, which ones are the best, but you never know. But that's why I like to ask you guys, see what your opinions are, so make sure to comment down below. With all that being said, let's hop into number 3. Kicking off my list at number 3, I have Goldman Bird. Now, while there was a lot of moments that made me laugh, that made me have a smile, I think it's kind of hard to capture lightning in a bottle this many times, especially with this kind of thing, because it is kind of a spoof. So once they kind of run out of material and they try to go on certain paths and take a bunch of risks, it can either go really well or it can miss the mark. In this case, I think it missed the mark. While there was moments of laughter and memorable times in the film, I think that most of it was just very hit and miss for me. I think it's kind of trying to be repetitive off the first Austin Powers, except it doesn't excel as well as the first one. It doesn't take and run with the ideas as well as the other two do. And I think that there was a lot of moments to where the comedy was a little too much. I think the story was a little too bizarre, and I don't think the acting was the best out of the trilogy. Like I said, this isn't like the top of the line. There's a lot of little things and mistakes you can point out in all of them, but I think that out of the other two, this is the one that I have the most issues with. I mean, it's cool you got Beyonce in there as the Austin Powers girl, his sidekick through the film, but when it comes to a premise, he's kind of doing the same exact thing as he was in the first one, that is trying to take down Dr. Evil. Now, I know that Dr. Evil is very prominent in every single one of them, but I feel like he was very repetitive in its nature in the story that it chose to go with, and it's just one that, when it comes down to it, when I'm wanting to watch an Austin Powers film, this is the last one that I'm going to want to watch. Coming in at number 2, I have The International Man of Mystery. This is the one that kicked off the whole franchise, the whole trilogy, the Austin Powers story. This introduced us to our characters. The setting kind of brought him in as this guy who's from the 60s who gets teleported to the 90s. And his whole way of living, he's got to adjust because, just face it, the things in the 90s are definitely way different than how people live in the 60s. So it takes a lot of adjustments, and within that comes a lot of very well played out comedic moments. This is the one that really feels like a Saturday Night Live skit to me. Like, there was a lot of just cheeky humor all the way through that really cracked me up. I think a lot of it was very clever, and it's seriously a super funny movie all the way around. And it's just like the original James Bond movie when you're looking at Dr. No. It introduces the character of Austin Powers, who's very much trying to be a spoof of James Bond. And when he fights his villain in this film, Dr. Evil, he's very much kind of a negative replica of Dr. No, the villain in the film, if you know what I'm talking about. Dr. Evil, Dr. No, they kind of dress the same. They have the same kind of plan. They have a weird way about themselves. They're kind of quirky. And of course, I mean, this is where you get the thing where the classic meme of Dr. Evil saying, $1 million. There's just so many things about this film that are memorable and funny and very uniquely played out and thought out and written, and I just really enjoy this film. There's just one film that actually made me laugh even more than this one. But taking the top spot for me is The Spy Who Shagged Me. Now, this film is after Austin Powers kind of got his footing, kind of established his style. We knew what we were working with coming into this film, and after the massive hit of the first one, this one delivered so much more. To me, this is the most iconic one out of the whole trilogy. It's got the most memorable moments. He's once again fighting Dr. Evil. This time, Dr. Evil has notoriously stolen his mojo, and he's on a mission to take down the world. So pretty much Austin Powers is like a superhero and has to stop him from destroying the world. He is saving the world from mass destruction. Dr. Evil taking over the entire planet. On top of that, we are introduced to Mini-Me, played by Vern Troyer, on top of a lot of other iconic villains, hilarious moments, great funny aspects and characters built into this one, and I think that every single beat of this one was perfect. I think that they took all the things from the first one and capitalized on it and made it even better in every single way. This is the one that I go back to watch the most often. This is the one I enjoy the most. I think it's the most well made out of the three, and that is why it is my favorite in the Austin Powers trilogy. So that is my ranking of the Austin Powers trilogy. Like I said, this is just a wacky, just out of this world kind of franchise that doesn't take itself too seriously at all, and it takes a franchise like the Bond films and kind of turns it upside down, and it's almost like the polar opposite of what you'd expect from a James Bond movie. I think when I say that it's a Saturday Night Live version of it, I think that capitalizes and kind of explains exactly what they were going for, because when you watch it, I think you definitely agree. Mike Myers is notorious and very well known for going over the top and being wild and crazy, and that's why he embodies the character of Austin Powers perfectly. Like I said, they're not the best, but they're also just a ton of fun all the way around. In the beginning, I said make sure to leave your comment down below, and I still want you guys to do that. So if you haven't yet, comment down below. Let me know your favorite, your least favorite, whatever you want to do. You can even rank all of them down below in the comments. I don't care, just whatever you'd like to do, because I'd like to hear you guys' opinion. Also, if you would, make sure to give a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. We are so close to 400 subscribers, so if you guys can help me get there, I greatly appreciate it. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.